Here we are again in Saskatoon. I'm talking through a mask because we didn't still have, right? The outbreak didn't arrive yet in Saskatoon. It's a lovely day. The sun is warming our backs or our fronts. It depends, right? Your angle to the sun. It's so strong that you can actually feel that it's burning. It's glorious burn. Good. And now what we can do, we can prop ourselves up because we're going to relax. Regardless of where you are now when you're listening to me, you are going to totally relax. Don't believe me, just listen to yourself. For that, we need pillows, lots of pillows, lavishly big pillows. Yeah. So we're gonna have pillows for the back of our knees. So we can have a big pillow, but not only big, that is 20, 30 centimeter. Even if you're thinking in feet, it could be almost a foot high, but it needs to be also wide because you don't want to bring both knees together. You want the knees to be at least open as your pelvis, at least. And you would like maybe a pillow for your head, because you don't want the head to extend. You don't want to feel like somebody's yanking you backwards. So find a pillow that works for you. Some people will even use a book, but a book is hard, especially if it's hard reading. So find something that you feel just in line with the flow. Because when you're in line with the flow, you can really appreciate few stuff. You can appreciate the horizon. Right? So let's find ourselves now on our back and let's prop ourselves. And you're also welcome. Everybody's welcome to assume his place.
You want pillows under his knees?
I think I would. Everybody would appreciate pillows under the knees. It's a must.
It's a must.
For today, it's a must, a must, a must, a must. Oh, excellent. Next station, paradise. And now we are laying on our backs. Some of us are inside the home, some of us are outside of the home. Can you hear the birds? No. Sometimes when we relax, things just arrive to us. They are always there, but we put filters on. And when we are in the right location, being in the right position means that you can choose what to filter and not what not to filter. So now we can choose to bring to our stuff all the beauty that surrounds us. And as we are now on our backs, on the floor, on all the mat, or whatever works for you, with the pillows under your knees, and you have a good distance, you can actually increase the distance between your heels. You don't want the heels to touch each other, because then there's no place for the belly, right? Kopenik, can you increase a bit the space between your feet? And as you do that,
yes.
I don't want you to lose the sensation that you're falling. And indeed, you are falling to the center of earth. You are falling. You're falling into the mat, and the mat falls into the deck, and the deck, through the poles, fall into the earth, and the earth falls into its center. And as you acknowledge more and more this sensation of falling, you feel more and more your body, and your body say thank you, and it just relaxes. It relaxes because he knows that as it falls, it doesn't need to grab anything. It doesn't need to do anything. It can only perceive itself now. Whoever knows how to breathe to the belly can breathe to the belly. If you choose to breathe the way that you want to breathe, you can. But actually, because I just gave you that key word of breathing, you're just messing now with your breathing, and that's just okay. And feel your body. How long is your body? Taking into account that you've got billions of cells that constitute you. Billions and billions of cells. Those billions and billions of cells have space. You can look at the space as a length, as width, as a spiral. There's all those qualities to it. How do your heels touch the floor? How do they point straight to the wall or in an angle? Are your pinkies relaxed than your big toe, or are they all clamped together? What else comes to your mind as I talk? Something in front of you, below of you, something that is just nagging. Surrender into the fall. You're falling perpetually, or whatever it's called, in perpetuity, right? Somebody from the audience, in perpetuity. Perpetuity. It's not your gland. Come on, it's something else. Okay, it's just it doesn't stop in continuously. It's just you fall, and as I talk, you continue to fall. But it's a particular fall because you keep your eyes on the horizon, and even if your eyes are closed, you have a very clear knowing of where the horizon is. And it doesn't matter that you're not standing, because in a way you are standing. If somebody will press now a board, maybe a wooden board, to your feet, to the sole of your feet, first of all, your feet will be a bit more angled to 90, and you will feel as if you are standing. In a way you are standing, but the horizon is different. Now the horizon is somewhere in the skies. It's not parallel to the earth. It's, you can say, in the center of the sky. In the center of the galaxies. Of course, we're not in the center of the universe, so we can say that your center is the center of the universe. Now, we're going to keep the attention with the closed eyes into the horizon. And we are going to connect that to the breathing. The breathing is going to supply us more depth into the horizon. That is your center of mass. Communicate with your inner ear, and you just know where the horizon is. It's just amazing, amazing phenomena. And you're falling, and you continue to fall into the mat. And as you fall, you keep your eyes on the horizon. Isn't it strange that you fall and the horizon, it's not moving? It's quite a sensation. I would say even a new sensation for us. And we compare the right side to the left side of the body. It was a long day. Even if you just woke up, it was a long day. Feel how your rib cage moves with the breath. Maybe not a lot, but there is a movement and you can perceive it. And as you continue to fall further and further down, you can perceive the motion of your rib cage even more, because your relaxed body finds itself and kind of molds itself into the surface. And as it molds itself into the surface, you can feel the movement of the rib cage that allows the air to be sucked into the lungs. And now we're going to do something, as if we didn't do something already, but we're going to do something else in addition. But we are always going to feel that motion of falling into the center of earth, and that motion would as a feedback would allow us to know that we are relaxed. We are completely relaxed. Now, in a peaceful manner, we're going to place our hands on our bellies, on our lower abdomen. Yeah? It could be just the way that you placed them. Because I didn't give you a lot of information, maybe you place them one on top of the other, maybe the right is on top of the left or vice versa. Maybe they are one, right? They are not touching, one is higher, closer to the head, and one is on the pubic bone. Whatever you did is just okay. Let's stay with what you've done. Are you still falling? Now I want you to turn your hands as if you're asking for money, as if you're begging. Good. Back and again. Back into the palms and again. So we call this movement supination. But if I would explain to you supination, it will be really troublesome and you won't enjoy the process. So I gave you that gesture that you can relate. You can relate to that gesture even with your emotion, not only with your kinesthetic appreciation. So now, don't think about begging. I want you to think about having the grace of offering something beautiful to your fellow men and women and person. We are all inclusive here. And continue that movement as I talk. Continue the movement of placing, allowing, when you go back, it's the gravity that allows you, right? To place your palms on top of your belly. And then you offer something to the world. And then you apply a bit of pronation through the wrist. Right? When you can use gravity, use gravity. In between, you have to move, but at the edges of each, right? Going back and forth at the edge of the movement, you can just use the gravity. Are you still falling? Are you falling in the way that you fell before? Continue the movement. Can you see through your closed eyes? Can you see the horizon? And let go of everything now. Keep your hands there. How much tension do you have in the fingers? Have you thought about the tension of your fingers? What was there when you did what you did? What was there? How did you hold yourself? Not in respect of the posture, but how did you approach? Because I gave you something that could have been something else, but it could be anything in your life. Anything in your life. How do you approach it? How do you carry yourself through life? So let's pay attention now. Let's pay attention now again to our fingers and the tension that we have in our fingers. And tension is good, because if you don't have tension, you can't do anything. But you just want to have the right type of tension. And now, believe me or not, you don't need to have a lot of attention when you're falling to the center of Earth. Fall to the center of Earth and feel your body. I told you that you're going to relax, but you're going to relax much, much, much more. It's inevitable, because you're falling and you don't resist it. The notion of not resisting is an interesting notion, but this is for a different lesson. So now, let's interlace the fingers together. And as we're interlacing the fingers together on our lower abdomen, we're interlacing the fingers together. I know some of you have fallen asleep, and that's okay, because you're still listening to me even if you're asleep. Do not look up to look at your partners. It really goes against. It's go against, not, but you resist the fall. Let's say. Gubeni, can you please interlace the fingers together? Thank you. Interlace them the way that you choose to interlace them. And you chose if the right thumb is on top of the left one, or either versa, and it's just okay the way that you've done it. And now again, I want you to connect first to the emotion. I want you to connect to the emotion of offering something good to the world. But in a way, you have a new constraint to the doing. So let's now slowly and gently, as we fall into the center of Earth, let's again offer something to the world that is supinate. We're going to roll. It's hard. How do we do it with interlaced hands? Interlaced again your hands. Let's go back into the initial position. That is, interlace the fingers. And now let's try to do the movement without trying to accomplish a movement. What we're accomplishing now is only the emotion. That is, you can connect to the emotion of offering something in a very gentle and generous way to the world. You're rolling in supination both hands, and maybe it's only 0.5 millimeter, but there was the emotion and there was the movement, although it could be unnoticeable to somebody from the outside. And that's okay, because you're with yourself now. It's not like you're lending a foot for a thief to jump above the wall and escape. You're just offering something beautiful to the world with your fingers interlaced. As I talk, you continue to roll your hands. So the rolling is a roll that is not in place. That is, you don't have a strict axis somewhere along the body. You roll. So when you roll and something to the world, your pinky touches something. Maybe it touches the pubic bone. You're rolling towards your pubic bone. And you roll back, and you fall to the center of Earth. And falling to the center of the earth informs you that you do not resist. And as you do not resist, you are at peace with everything. And let go of everything. Thank yourself for listening. And if you just woke up, that's great. Now place your hands alongside your body and surrender to the flow. Doing without having the strain, entangled with the doing, is something marvelous, right? Something that could be a good reference point for a process of thriving. Let's place again the hands and interlace them. Interlace the fingers. And now I want you to drag the right heel and place it on top of the pillow, maybe a bit closer to the slope next to your buttocks, more or less, that it won't slide back. So don't really lift, but slide the heel from the side. The knee goes from this, like a frog, from the side, and you slide. And then you place the heel somewhere on the slope that goes to your buttocks. If it's too close, you can place it somewhere that it's comfortable. Are you still falling? Good. And now keep your knee straight to the center of galaxies, straight to the skies. And think about pressing the foot to the ground. Just think about it. Can you find an emotion that is connected to that motion? How much tension do you have in your body? Did the quality of the fall change because you keep your right foot towards the sky? That is the knee towards the sky. And now gently, gently, gently press a bit. Like you want to break 5 eggs. So press just a bit the foot and let go. And again, press the foot as you're falling and you have the sensation of falling, and let go. And again, press and let go. And now do it slowly at your own pace. And I just want you to imagine that you're combining that movement with your hands, with that generous offering you have to the world as your fingers are interlaced. Where would it be easier? When you're pressing or when you're returning to roll? And try a bit. Try to press a bit and roll at the same time. Press a bit and roll at the same time to offer something so generous and so. The beauty of it just brighten the world. And now try the opposite. Try to roll when you're returning from the press. That is when you allow your buttocks to just mold into the floor, into the mat, into the bed. Allow yourself to roll and offer that beauty, that present. And just for yourself, internally think what's more easy, because it will be easier in one direction. What we're looking at is to unite our body. We're not looking at parts, we're looking at one motion, one emotion. How are you breathing? I want you to connect that to the breathing. I want you to, now we have 4 combinations, actually 16, but I want you, as you fall, do not lose the sensation of falling. I want you to, as you breathe out, to offer the present to the world. That is, you don't have to time it too well, but you breathe in, you're neutral. And as you breathe out, you offer the present to the world. So you're neutral at your own pace, you're breathing to the belly, and as passively the air goes out from the lungs, through the throat, through the mouth, you can feel the hail go with the moist and all that, right? Like a intimate water park. You allow yourself to roll your present as the air goes out of the mouth. You're still falling, and you choose if your eyes are open or closed. But either way, you have a very, very clear indication of the horizon. And now, I want you to roll your present when you're inhaling. Now, you choose to do it when you're pressing. You know what? Let's stop the pressing. Just allow the knee to be pointing to the center of the universe, to the skies. And just as you inhale, you roll your... If you have any pain in the hands, anything at all, you can get away from the position. Again, we're looking for things with pleasure. If we have any discomfort, we disservice ourselves. Let's straighten our leg slowly. The knee falls to the outside, that is to the right, and then the heel slides to meet the other heel. It doesn't touch the left heel because we won't have some space for the belly. Good. Are you still falling? Falling in love with the surface that supports you. In a way, it's funny because you can say that you fall in love with the surface, but the surface repels you. Because if the surface wouldn't have repelled you, you would actually submerge into the earth and go into a very hot place at the center of the earth. So the earth, although you love it, repelled you. That's interesting. Can you perceive that everything repels you forward, that is upwards, to the sky? As long as you allow yourself to fall, those forces repel you back. So in a way, you can say that you fall, but in another way, you can say that you're floating. And you're indeed floating, and that sensation just becomes stronger and stronger. Your eyes are floating, but because they are closed, they are not detached from the body. They're just floating there, and they hit slowly the eyelids. They hit the closed eyelids, and then they bounce slowly in slow motion back into the surface, right? Very, very close to the brain tissue. And now we're going to place our hands on our chin. So we need to find, because our chin is small, how to do it. We can actually open up. We can open up the elbows. Yeah? We can open up, we can fence up. And then we will have more surface, right? So the elbows don't need to be alongside the body. They could be wide, wide, wide. Yeah? And we can actually put the back of our hand on our chin. Let's do that. Let's put the back of our hand. Now they're not interlaced. Now we're just placing one palm inside the other, and everything is on the chin. On the chin, not on the neck, not on the eyes, on the chin. One palm on the chin, and the other palm is, not palm, the back of the hand. The back of the hand, right? Let's choose one for the people that haven't chose yet. So place the back of your right hand on your chin. Yes, exactly. The back of your right hand on the chin. When I mean the chin, I don't mean the part that is right, the plate of the throat. I mean the part of the chin that is close to the lips. Sorry for that. So next to the lips, right? We've got that chin. But we want them to rest. So if you place it on the throat, you will choke yourself. I want you to place them on the chin in a way that you can relax your hands on the chins. On the chins. I don't want you to hold in the air. Exactly. Place your right back hand on your chin in a way that you can relax it on the chin. Not on the corner of the chin, not on the slope, really on the chin, next to the lips. Next to the lips. Yes. And place the other hand inside that hand. Place the left inside the right, and the right on top of the chin, and it falls into the chin. Do not hold it above the throat. Place it. No, don't worry, the chin is very strong, right? The mandible is very strong. Place it on the mandible. Don't place it on the bottom of the mandible. Place it above the mandible. Place it above. Lorna, can you help us a second? Sorry. I'm truly sorry. And Lorna falls now faster than ever as she sees the horizon that opens up. How do you see the horizon? Is it dawn or is it dusk? Is the horizon just a black narrow line, or is it like it has like in the dawn, it has that yellowish quality of the light, or at the dusk it has that pinkish quality to it. And now continue to offer your present to the world from that position on top of your chin. So offer your present to the world. So you will touch from one side the lips a bit, and then you will go to maybe the edge of the throat, edge of the chin, and back to the lips. And what makes it? What happens there when the hands roll into the lips? In a way, it's like a surprising contradiction. You offer something so beautiful to the world, but you're touching your lips. It's like you're feeding yourself. You're doing something for yourself, but at the same time, you have that emotion of offering that glorious present to the world that brightens it. It's like a bomb of love that resonates with other bombs of love. It's really hard to find that timing to resonate a bomb with a bomb, actually. And let go of everything. Place your hands alongside your body. Continue to fall as the horizon opens up and you breathe into the belly. How does your right side compare to the left side? Or ask yourself something more interesting. Now I will allow you to ask yourself questions. Or just pay attention to what the body tells you. I will just allow you to continue to fall to the center of earth as you breathe and have your gaze on the horizon. And listen, allow yourself as you do not resist. You allow your body to talk to yourself and you don't filter what the body tells you. All that wealth arrives as I stop talking. Now take your tongue, the tip of your tongue, and with a closed mouth, if you want to keep your mouth closed, I want you to rub in a sensual way, in a gentle way, your gums. Naturally, not from the inside because the plate is very hard, but the gums. So the tongue goes between the lips and the gums, above and below, without straining. If there is a place that you cannot reach with the tip of the tongue, do not strain, because if you will strain, you won't be able to fall into the center of earth and pay attention to the glorious horizon. And see how there is more and more saliva. And if you feel the urge to swallow, please do so. What arrives to you now that didn't arrive to you before? Before it talked to you Maybe it even screamed, but you didn't pay attention. And not because you meant not to pay attention, only because it happened. Like the sensation of falling that just happens, and you don't need to think about it. You just experiencing it in the moment. Does your space around you is different? Is the internal space you have is different? We moved a bit the right side more than the left side, so maybe there is a difference between the right side of the body and the left side of your body. The surface can tell you. The conversation that you have with the surface will tell you if the right and the left part of your body, the right side of your body, the left side are different. And how are they different? Listen to what the body tells you. And now thank yourself for being so kind to yourself, to doing something without strain. Sometimes we need to do things without strain. And not only that we do things without strain, we also celebrate it. Celebration doesn't mean always champagne. Celebration at times means to underline an experience and say, this was good for me, and I'm going to experience that over and over again. And even after we're going to finish, and we're going to sit, and we're going to stand when we want to, because locomoting, walking from one place to another is very efficient walking for most of us. Breathing and the horizon will always be there, even if it's not the horizon that we were depending on. The horizon is there. And the relationship between our pelvis, that is the location of the breath, and the horizon, that relationship is always the same, regardless of where you are in space. So when you will wake up today and tomorrow, and you will take a breath, and you feel the pelvis, and you feel how the breath, like the mother that caresses her offspring, how that in space correlate with the gaze on the glorious